Chords and Coffee number 46. Take you a quick drink. I like to start off our Chords and Coffee with a little noodle. And those little noodles are, I was thinking about this the other day. What we're doing here, this is almost like a time capsule. This is number 46, and I'm 46 years old. And we started this, I say we, my buddy Alec, who does all the social media posting and strategy and oversight, and he's just really good at it. And he had encouraged me, gosh, I guess it's been a year now. He's like, hey, you ought to do like a guitar lesson, or just like a little show. And just, we literally inside of probably a 2-minute, maybe 3-minute conversation, we come up with Chords and Coffee. And so here we are. And sometimes I think about, just like a time capsule. I don't know if you're watching this and you're like, what's a time capsule? Well, back in the day, kids, we used to take a big old plastic cylinder, or, that's how it was when I was a kid. Or they, I guess they've been doing it forever, but folks bury stuff in the dirt and they put elements of whatever the culture or whatever is important to their lives at the time into a capsule, and put that capsule into the ground in hopes that somebody would, dig it up later. And aren't these videos kind of like that? And by the way, if you're commenting and you're subscribing, welcome to the show, friends. I mean, you're a part of this, right? Because your time capsule, participation is there. And, without getting sad or anything, I mean, there's folks that have come and gone that have commented on these videos in the past. And sometimes I'll go back and just look at that. And it's life is short, and I'm grateful that we're getting to do this together. So I'm 46. This is episode 46. And I thought I would sort of present myself a challenge and, offer that to you as well. So we'll get to that at the end. But first of all, I wanted to tell you, my buddy Nathan Moyers, Nathan, if you're watching this, thank you. Nathan got 2 tickets to go see Joe Bonamassa. This happened a few days ago, and went to go see Joe Bonamassa. Funny story, real quick. I was at Juanita K. Hammond's, which is a beautiful place. I saw ZZ Top there, and it's a wonderful place to see a rock and roll show, or any kind of show for that matter. Anyway, went there, and you go through the line, and they got the guys with the batons are scanning you. And I have a pocket knife, and I don't have it on me right now, but I typically have it on me everywhere I go, and I just forgot I had it. And so I take my keys out of my pocket, my phone, I'm holding it up, and they scan me, and they go, "What's that?" And I go, "Oh yeah, I've got my knife." And the guy goes, "We got a knife!" And so I was like, whoa. And he's like, "You can throw it away, or you can put it, back in your car." And we were a ways from the car. So I went and hid it out underneath a bush out there in front of the concert hall. It was still there when I got back. So folks, Southwest Missouri ain't all bad, okay? You can hide a knife under a bush and come back and get it. So anyway, enjoy the show. Never seen Joe Bonamassa before, live. I was Joe Bonamassa aware, which means I had seen a lot of his portrayals on social media and on, different folks' internet offerings. And I've always known that Joe Bonamassa was a great player. I remember way back in the day reading in some kind of guitar magazine about a group called Bloodline. Comment below if you remember that deal. Showing my age right here, right? Bloodline was a bunch of famous musicians' kids that had formed a band. There was like, I want to say one of Miles Davis's kids, maybe Robbie Krieger's kid. Anyways, a bunch of them. And then they had Joe Bonamassa, who was a kid. I mean, he was young at that time. And they called him Smokin' Joe Bonamassa. And I remember reading a little article, like in a column, and seeing him and going, well, that kid doesn't, because the rest of them, had the Hollywood treatment, right? And so Joe just looked like a regular kid, monster player, right? And then fast forward several years, I just, I've heard him talk. I mean, his knowledge about vintage instruments. In fact, Joe's the kind of guy, if you ask him a question on social media, I'll bet you $20 he'll respond to you. He did that to me. I asked him a question about a Tweed amp one time, and he gave me a response. Short and sweet, but it was still a response. You know, he took time to do that, or somebody in his camp did. But no, he's a, you know, a really rare blend of dazzling technical ability on the guitar, no question. Anybody questions that, they're just wrong. I love you, but go watch the man play. Honestly, naming, I mean, John Mayer's this way, but Joe really is, I think, he's probably the top of the food chain when it comes to historical musical gear knowledge, as well as, you know, he's got his museums where he's got like every Fender amp from the 50s and 60s, and he is a musical historian as well as a great player. And he's got really cool songs, which I'll talk more about that here in just a second. So, went to go see him. Wasn't a Joe Bonamassa fan, but was Joe Bonamassa aware. But something happened, friends. Before I get too deep into that, by the way, this is the coffee I'm drinking. Digital Dark Roast. It's from Pedalboard Coffee. Folks, we got folks sending us coffee. Look at that. It's pretty good. I'll take another drink. Honest reaction. Here it comes. It's good. It's roasted by Temecula Coffee Roasters in Temecula, California. That's where they have the big motorcycle show, isn't it? Comment below if you know. Am I saying that right? Temecula? Anyway, I mean, it's good. It's premium coffee, deep grind. Pedalboardcoffee.com is where you can get your own. I'm drinking it. I'm going to drink the whole bag. I mean, it's good. It's good coffee. Pedalboard Coffee. It's good. That's a pretty solid endorsement, Pedalboard Coffee. Do with that what you will. So, anyway, back to Joe Bonamassa. Folks that always accuse me of stealing my haircut from Joe Bonamassa. This is just where I landed. Was going for somewhere between Elvis and, you know, that dude from Rival Sons, Fuzzlord, right? But, you know, this is sort of the 46-year-old, you know, kind of halfway, you know, Beaver Cleaver's dad haircut. There it is. Anyway, but went to the show. Mr. Nathan Moyers, my buddy, had fantastic seats. Saw it, was blown away. I got a little footage I'm going to show you. But I wanted to tell you just a couple things. Number one, go see Joe Bonamassa. Here's one. It's not just a guy with a band. He played with his band in the way that great bands play together. First of all, this was the first night of the tour, so that was kind of special. There was a lot of, you know, they were on their toes and you could feel it, right? Josh Smith was with him. Josh Smith is an incredible guitar player in his own right. In fact, when Joe introduced Josh, he said, the best guitar player on the stage, Josh Smith from Los Angeles, California. If you're not aware of Josh Smith, you can pause this or come back, you know, later, open up another YouTube window, just Josh Smith, guitar. The guy is bebop chops for days and great blues player, great country player, plays with 13s, got that man wire on his guitar, and just a killer player. And then, of course, he had Reese Wines from Double Trouble, the Stevie Ray Vaughan keyboard player, and that was really cool to see that man's energy, and also, you know, clearly the band, the entire band, had a reverence for him, is what it felt like, because every time he was playing, they were all like wide-eyed and watching, you know. It was really cool, and he was amazing. And then the rhythm section, the background singers were, I mean, everybody was awesome. To use Joe's word, pros with a Z on the end. It was really, really good. I did not expect the diversity of the songs. That's the first thing I want to tell you. Is I just wasn't as familiar with his catalog as my buddy was, and after watching that show, I went and started listening to the Royal T album, especially because there was a lot of songs that they played that night from that album that I was like, that's a cool song. So I'm a fan that way. There was a song called Double Trouble that was kind of a slow blues thing. One of the things I want to show you is that he did this little lick, and I was challenged watching Joe because he's an incredible player, and he has a lot of Eric Johnson-isms in his playing, and I remembered that I had this in my DVD collections. And in fact, while I was doing that little opening bit, Eric Johnson was staring at me going, is that the best you can do, Nate? Nate? You need to practice a little bit more. Hey, Nate, here's a word you haven't heard before. Metronome. The eye of Eric. Anyway, I'll put him back where he is, just staring at me. I'll do better, Eric. Hey, there's like that fast pentatonic stuff that Eric Johnson does where it's like a pentatonic deal and it's a lot of right-hand technique. I don't have that as good as I'd like. And so back to this time capsule thing. I need to work on that. And so this is episode 46. And if you've just landed on Chords and Coffee and you don't know nothing about who I am or what we're doing here, if nothing else, this is a little time capsule episode that hopefully a year from now, and whatever the math is as far as episodes go on that, I'll be better at this at that time. And I hope this encourages you, do the same. Hey, we're all just trucking along. We're all getting older. We might as well get better at guitar while we're doing that in the process. Amen? Comment below, right? We're in this together, right? I don't know everything about anything, but I know I like to encourage folks. So let's work on some stuff. So the first thing I'm going to show you, Joe is a master at playing this dazzling Eric Johnson-esque technique, and there's a lot of other influences in there, but that one was the one that really caught me, right? And there's a little video snippet I'm going to show you where he's playing real quiet, and he's doing this amazing thing, and I'm going to do that right here. Okay, so it's in B minor, and it kind of sounds like that, and then of course there's more. But this is a good example of I wanted to talk about two different ways to play that, the way that I'm more comfortable, and then the way that I need to work on. Okay, Chords and Coffee. Real talk. Okay, so let's do it down here first of all. So here's the way that I'm comfortable. Think of this as a D triad, right? And we're born out of the D triad. You got your index finger on the 5th fret of the high E. You've got your ring finger on the 7th fret of the B. And then you've got your pinky doing hammer-ons and pull-offs. Hammer-on and pull-offs. Hammer-on and pull-offs on the 7th fret of the E. Like that. And so we're going to start with the pinky down. And the way that I'm comfortable doing it is I'm going to pick, holding the pick like this. I'm going to pick with this, and then I'm going to pluck with my middle finger. The old pick and pluck. It's a little bit of that hybrid Merle Travis, just that hybrid picking. And somewhere along the line, this got real comfortable to me. Now, I'm not saying you have to do it, but I like it. It feels good. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to pick first on the 7th fret of the B string, and then pluck with my middle finger. And then if I take it all the way up here to the where my index finger's on the 17th fret, and my ring finger is on the 19th fret. Then we're up here in that territory of the video. And the trick that you want to practice there is doing that real lightly. Maybe even turn your volume down a little bit, but then still have it be articulate. It's hard to do. The other way to do that is to actually pick. Now, at the end of the night, Joe threw out some picks that were his, had Joe Bonamassa written on there, and I saw them, and I was like, oh, dang it, and I tried to grab one, because I wanted to grab one for my buddy, because he brought me to the show. I thought, man, it'd be cool if we could have two of them, but one of them was going to be Stretch anyway. missed it. It fell down. I took out my cell phone light. I was actually trying to help a lady find a pick in front of us. And I saw it sitting right there, and I said, don't mind if I do. I'm sorry, ma'am. But tickets are tickets, and this man bought me one. Boom. I handed him the pick. Little bitty pick. It reminded me of like, somebody knows exactly what it is. Feel free to comment below. But it reminded me of those little Dunlop Jazz 3s, like what Eric Johnson uses, little red one. But it had a little bit more of a diamond kind of cut to it. And I think, ergonomically speaking, there's something about holding something like that that makes that fast picking easier. But you can also just choke up on your pick, meaning use less pick, right? Whoop, hold on. Now, I can tell you right now, I'll give out when it comes to just having the energy to do that much faster than I would. I could do it the hybrid way much faster, but that's something I need to work on, because that technique, when you blow that open to more of that Eric Johnson-esque kind of stuff, when I open the video, that kind of stuff, and of course Eric Johnson also does that pentatonic lickety split stuff. Again, I haven't gotten good at just using my right hand. In fact, just throughout my playing journey thus far, my right hand has not been my strongest suit. But I'm hoping the conviction of this time capsule, episode 46, will encourage me, inspire me to just work on it a little bit. I mean, get up in the morning and do some push-ups, right? Same thing. But I wanted to show you this little Eric Johnson-esque here. All I'm doing here, it's a B minor, and I'm combining a B minor and an A major, okay? And so a B minor arpeggio, so index finger on the 7th fret of the low E, middle finger on the 9th fret of the A, pinky on the 11th fret of the D, and then back to the 9th fret of the D with the middle finger. Now, in my mind's eye, I'm combining this sort of minor 9 chord here. If I just laid my index finger straight across the 7th fret, right, and then put my middle finger on the 7th fret from the E to E, and then put my middle finger on the 9th fret of the A, and then pinky on the 11th fret of the D, it's a B minor 9. If I'm combining that with just this good old F shape that's making an A chord, so index finger barring the high E and the B, middle finger on the 5th fret, middle finger on the 6th fret of the G, 6th fret of the G, and then ring finger on the 7th fret of the D. I'm just combining these shapes, right? And what that's doing is giving me kind of a little bit of like a Dorian thing, because I would have, if I'm thinking of B minor as it relates to A, getting a little music theory, rabbit hole here. A B minor is the 2nd chord in an A major scale chord sequence, right? And so if I play an A major scale over a B minor tonal center or B minor groove, at some point I'm going to have this sound, which is that G sharp, which is the 7th of the A against the B minor, making this sort of B minor 6 kind of sound, kind of a Dust Bowl, if you know Joe Bonamassa stuff. He opened up with that song, really cool vibe to open with, right? But that is not unique to that tune. There's a lot of tunes that have that kind of tonality. But when I played, I didn't hit that G sharp in there, but I did hit that C sharp there. That's the rest of it. So from here, index on the 7th fret of the E, middle on the 9th fret of the A, pinky on the 11th fret of the D, middle on the 9th fret of the D again, and then from the G, 7, 9, 7, 6. kind of a cool B minor 9 vibe. And if I stayed on that and kind of noodled it around, and at the beginning I ended up just going a different direction. But that's the price you pay for opening up a can of guitar noodle. You don't know where it's going to go. Anyway, there's a couple little ideas. I would encourage you, if you like Mr. Joe Bonamassa's playing, and you should, because the man is just such a great player. By the way, seems to be a splendid human being. He was really, really generous with the solo time. He let everybody on the band, even the backup singers, get some of the spotlight. You know, he didn't hog it. And, you know, told some funny stories. And, of course, I counted. I could be wrong. If you were at that Springfield, Missouri show, tell me what your count was on the number of guitars. Nate, my buddy, the other Nathan, Nate, we call each other Nate. We counted 10, could have been 12 because there was a couple Les Pauls and it was hard to tell underneath the lighting if they were different. But I would say 10 is what I counted. So comment below. But man, incredible tone, dazzling playing. Highly recommend you go get a ticket to this tour because seeing Joe and Josh Smith and Reese and this wonderful rhythm section, these great singers all together, it exceeded expectations. And I think you should go check it out. So, hey, I appreciate y'all's comments. If you feel so inclined, share these videos. Doesn't have to be this one. Go back and share the ones that encourage you the most. And also, comment below if there's something that you want to get better on. Maybe we can help each other. That's what this is all about. That's what Chords and Coffee is all about, friends, is encouragement, playing guitar, and drinking a little coffee. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the day. We'll see you soon.